no.
Ocho Cinco, was he a quarterback?
Your ass better call somebody.
He's gone for the touchdown. Caldwell Pope. How about that one, baby?
It's Sports Entertainment today.
How did he win this game?
I hope this is bleach.
Take the hoop out of the playbook, please. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the NFL weekly matchup. We just got done finishing up the college show. We're back to the NFL show, week one of the NFL season. I thought it was a heck of a season. My Saints pulled it out. Jameis Winston, the new future, MVP this season, I'm hoping. But we'll see how that goes. Josh, what's your thoughts on week one?
Oh man, it was a exciting week. Of course, not for my Falcons, who I think are going to get the number one draft pick this year, and they should better draft a quarterback.
Should have got it last year.
Yeah, well, they should have got offensive line last year is what they should have done. I think Matt Ryan's seen his better days. What was San Francisco doing? What were they doing in the last part of that game?
That game was insane.
It was crazy.
My dad's a Niners fan, and he was so mad.
Yeah, Russell Wilson looked good for Seattle. What about Pittsburgh beating Buffalo? Pittsburgh's defense is playing pretty good.
Hey, I've said it. I like, but a lot of people likes Buffalo, and I know Buffalo's going to be good. And I like Josh Allen, but I think they are in for some regression this year. I don't think Buffalo's going to be as good, but I could be wrong. Could definitely be wrong.
Najee Harris played every snap, and he didn't have a lot of yards, but he played every snap. And like, there's only been two.
That's the thing about Pittsburgh. They like running. They like using their backs. Their number one back.
Two running backs have done it like in the past 10 years, and one of them is Christian McCaffrey, who played every down, every offensive down for their team. So big props to Najee Harris.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha, Preston. Any thoughts on week one?
I think there was a lot of good games. A couple games I didn't expect to see the score. I didn't think Cincinnati was going to be that great and everything like that. But Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, the old LSU reunion that year, they caught lightning in a bottle, as Josh would say. I think, that could be the beginning of something beautiful there in Cincinnati. And then back to the Falcons, like he said, I should have gotten an offensive line, or they might be tanking for the first pick in the draft. I mean, they started out that first drive of the game, and they looked unstoppable. I mean, they had everything going for them. And then they got stopped, and they settled for 3. And then they did it again and settled for 3. And they scored 6 points for the entirety of the game. I mean, that is – come on, man. This could be a very long season for a Falcons fan. But, I mean, hey, we've done this before, and it looks like we're going to do it again.
Gotcha. Well, let's look at the record for last week. Preston, you were 5-10. Josh, 6-9, and I was 7-8. So I do have the one-game lead right now, barely, if I am correct. I went back and looked at it. If I am wrong, you guys can let me know. But let's get into a little bit of a recap of last week. Thursday Night Football, you had Tampa barely beating Dallas. I don't know why I didn't see this coming. I mean, it's Tampa early in the season, and Dallas is not a bad football team. I mean, that should have been an easy pick in my opinion. But, Josh, what's your thoughts on that game?
That game was close, man. Didn't Tampa turn the ball over 4 times?
I don't know off the top of my head. I
think they turned the ball over 4 times. And when you're playing in the NFL, when you turn the ball over 4 times, you should lose. You should lose. Dallas did not capitalize in that game. They left too much time on the clock for Tom Brady. That was their downfall there, but they should have won that game. I feel like Dallas should have and could have won that game.
Gotcha. Preston, any
Absolutely. Dak Prescott played amazing in his first game back. I mean, he was 42 of 58 for 403 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 1 interception. I don't believe the interception he threw, I don't really think it was his fault. I think it was kind of like a tip pass, if I'm not mistaken. But, I mean, they lost by 2 points, and this was on the road in Tampa Bay, the reigning Super Bowl champions. I mean, hey, they play like this. I mean, I think the NFC division, or their division alone might be theirs, because I think their next closest competitor might be the Washington football team. And, with Ryan Fitzpatrick going down, they got Taylor Heineke now as their starting quarterback. I mean, everything looks like it's going up right now. I mean, you could pick him up, but I don't know would you rather have Cam Newton or Ryan Fitzpatrick? And I think Cam Newton's a better football player, but I mean, at this point, I don't think it's going to bring the team together.
Gotcha. Well, yeah, my thoughts. You left way too much time on for Tom Brady. I mean, everybody saw that. They always do that for Tom Brady. They always show that look he has, with a few minutes left or a minute left. They showed that look he had, that death stare, and he looked ready. You knew. I mean, even my buddy Dolan, he told me, he's like, right at a minute, a minute or so left, and they zoomed in on Tom Brady. He went back and he rewinded. He said, look at Tom Brady. He said, they're gonna win this game. And I said, yeah. Even though I will say that was offensive pass interference. I do think that end of the game there was I think it was on Godwin.
I agree, but my friend Freddie, he said if Dallas was to win this game, I had to say that he was correct and everything like that. And even though Dallas did lose the game, I'm going to honor that commitment because I still think Dallas that night they didn't win the game, but I mean they played amazingly and I think they got it going right now in Dallas. I want to slow down a little bit because Dallas has done this before. They've shown some progression, and then they've lost it. But this could be a year that could be something special for them. If they get everything going the way they want. I think Dak Prescott is a great quarterback, but he's had some hardships down there in Dallas, so they can put stuff together today. I mean, it could be a pretty exciting year for Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, and one thing I will say, they kind of went away from the run game. I mean, they only had 14 rushes, and Zeke only had 11 carries. So, I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. I've never been a big Zeke guy. I always thought Tony Pollard, maybe, I don't know. I've always liked Tony Pollard personally, but, I don't know what's going on there with the run game. But everybody's so excited about, CeeDee Lamb. What about Amari Cooper? Amari Cooper's out there putting up numbers. They still one of the best receivers in the NFL, so they need to watch out for him. They still got a good offense. We'll see what happens. You want to say something, Josh?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that the Buccaneers' run defense contributed a lot to Zeke not getting a lot of production.
Well, I mean, even that, but it seemed like last year, though. Even though a lot of people were prepared for it because they didn't have Dak, but it just seemed like they've kind of gone away from running the ball a little bit. I don't know. But let's get into the next game. Let's talk about the next game. Falcons. I don't know if there's much to say about this game. Falcons. I put smoke. Falcons get killed 32-6 by the Eagles. Josh, any thoughts? I know we kind of went through it a little bit.
Yeah, man, the Falcons. What are they doing? Like Preston said earlier, I think before we started the other show, the Falcons ran right down the field, and it was the same situation that it has been for the Falcons for 3 years. They get in the red zone and they can't score a touchdown. It's really, if they can't score from outside the 20, they're not going to score. They're not going to get 6. They're going to have to depend on Young Hoku a lot this year. Jalen Hurts. They made Jalen Hurts look like a real good NFL quarterback, and he may be. I know a buddy of mine. I got two good friends, and one of them's a huge Alabama fan, and one of them's a huge NFL fan, and they bet $100, and neither he hadn't paid up yet. I don't think he is. He said Jalen Hurts will not be a starter in the NFL back when Jalen was playing for Alabama, and my Alabama fan betted him. So who's starting right now? Who has a win? Who went 27 of 35 for 264 and 3 touchdowns? And then that pass to Devontae Smith, almost the exact same spot where Devontae Smith caught the national championship winning pass in the same stadium against Georgia, and he done it right there. It was great to see those two guys as an Alabama fan, but as a Falcon fan, just we're right in the middle of a rebuild, and it's really showing.
Yeah, right when that pass happened, Jalen Hurts threw it to Devontae Smith. I said, I'm going to have a good fantasy day because I had both of them. Yeah, it didn't happen like that, but, it happens. Preston, any thoughts on that game?
Yeah, like Josh said, this is a rebuilding year, it seems like. It does not seem like the Falcons have got much going on. I still think Matt Ryan, he's got some left in the tank, but, he's got to have an offensive line. He's got to have somebody protect him, especially since he's not an overly mobile kind of guy. 6 points, that's just you can't expect to do anything if you're putting up 6 points in any game, especially Philadelphia. Going into this game, I picked out Atlanta as my lock of the week because I had high expectations for them this season. Well, that quickly changed in the first, 7 minutes of the game. Yeah, this might not be the year for the Falcons, and we'll see how many wins they get. They ain't winning the division already because you have Tampa Bay in the division. And apparently the Saints look like they're doing something special, but this is not going to be a pretty year, boys.
Yeah, I don't know what's going. I mean, I'm not an Atlanta fan. I dislike Atlanta, but like Preston said, I thought they were going to start out strong when the first drive and Calvin Ridley called a pass, and I want to say Kyle Pitts called somebody called a pass, and they were driving downfield. Looked like they were going to do, but it was going to be, both offenses looked high pace. Even the announcer, I think Romo said that. One of them, whoever was announcing, said that, and it looked like the game was going to be back and forth and fast paced, and all of a sudden Atlanta, couldn't do anything. But
well, I have a question. So we couldn't score in the red zone, and that seems to be our Achilles heel as of right now, as has been the last couple of years. If Julio Jones is still on the staff, is Julio targeted? Because I know Tennessee wasn't that great in their first game.
Yeah, well, I say Julio. I mean, not saying. I mean, if you're
He
talking
was
about,
he was there. He was there a long time, and he
Yeah.
didn't have many touchdowns.
Exactly. That's exactly where I was going. Julio never.
They never gave him a supporting cast
touchdowns.
really for inside the red zone. He would be double covered, and if he did catch one in there, it would be a circus catch where he'd have to go up to the high point and get it. But who is Cardell Patterson?
Yeah, that used to be the. He used to play. He used to be specialty. He's a wide receiver, running back. Used to be on the Vikings. He's been going around teams, but he's not.
He's definitely a running back, dude. Yeah. That dude can run, and he's like a little wild card for the Falcons. And if
that's
what
they use him as,
they're going to win any games, they're going to have to use him, and also they're going to have to use Kyle Pitts. Like, why wasn't he targeted more in the game? Yeah. I don't understand the coaching decisions in that game. Kyle Pitts should have been targeted a lot more.
Well, also a shining light was Mike Davis. I mean, I know he didn't, have a lot of yards, but I mean, there's opportunity there. If they get some offensive line play and then they start to open up the offense because Matt Ryan's able to push the ball down the field. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Mike Davis wasn't going to have not a standout year, but, he can give us some good offensive production, build up his stock, maybe jump to another team. But, I mean, hey, get an offensive line. We might have something going, but, I mean, we have weapons on the outside. I mean, we got Kyle Pitts lining up as a tight end. He can go up over in the slot. We got Calvin Ridley and stuff like that. I mean, we got guys, but, I mean, they just got to get stuff figured out. I mean, right now it's just not looking too bright right now for the Falcons.
Gotcha. And I'm not blaming it on Matt Ryan. I don't blame it on Matt Ryan, but I think it might be a time. It's getting time for that change of scenery at quarterback.
You can't take a sack like he did, man. No. It was before halftime, and there was a chance for us to get back into the game, a slim chance, but he took a sack. Yeah. You don't take a sack right there, man. You chunk that ball way up in the air, and hopefully somebody catches it. You don't take a sack. You give us a chance.
Well, that's the thing that, kind of brings me some kind of glimmering hope is, Philadelphia won this game at a margin of 32-6. But, I mean, all the way up into halftime, I mean, they were in this game with no touchdown. They were with 2 field goals, and they were still, I wouldn't say competitive, but they were still in the game, and they just would stall out in the worst opportune time, and they just couldn't get anything going for them. I mean, they got to get something, and I mean, but this isn't the year to stink for a quarterback. This is not the year. Last year was the year, not this year.
Matt Ryan had, what did he have? 165
yards or 64, I think.
Yeah,
21-35, I think, something like that.
3 sacks for a loss of 28 yards. That you can't do that and win any games. You're not going to win any games.
Gotcha. Well, let's go ahead and get into the next game. I know we talked about the Falcons a little bit. Pittsburgh coming back to beat Buffalo. Was a low-scoring game for a while, but Pittsburgh came back and beat them 23-16. Any thoughts on that game, Josh?
Yeah, I was watching the red zone, and I was kind of keeping up with that game a little bit, and I was surprised that the Bills wasn't up big from all the hype that the Bills get. Josh Allen, and I was real surprised. Apparently, Pittsburgh has put in some resources to building that defense back up to where it used to be. And I mean, as an Alabama fan, I'm going to bring him up. I mean, Dre Kirkpatrick. I mean, the dude is arguably one of the best DBs in the league, and he really showed it. He made a lot of plays for Pittsburgh. I'm excited for the Pittsburgh fans to get that win over Buffalo.
Gotcha. Preston, any thoughts?
Nothing too crazy, but Buffalo being my AFC representative in the Super Bowl, they kind of let me down in the first week. I mean, you got 16 more games, 17 more weeks in total, but I mean, Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills playing, a pretty good defense in Pittsburgh, but I mean, as of right now, not looking too great up there in Bills Mafia, but I mean, they got enough time to turn it around. I think they're a good enough team to put things together, but Yeah, we need a little more production up there.
Gotcha.
A little overhyped right now for them.
Yeah, and Josh Allen threw the ball 51 times. That surprised me. They only put up 16 points with him throwing the ball 51 times. Go ahead.
One quick thing. Minka Fitzpatrick, not Dre Kirkpatrick. Minka,
Gotcha.
Minka Fitzpatrick. 10 tackles, dude. 10 tackles and one pass deflected. He was all over the place.
Gotcha.
Is that because he's an Alabama guy? You wanted to look up that stat?
No, they had another
Minka Fitzpatrick is a good
guy.
No, he's great. He really is. But are we highlighting him because he's an Alabama guy?
I mean, I really think he's probably one of the best DBs in the National Football League, along with the guy that we're watching right now, Marlon Humphrey for the Ravens. That's another Alabama guy.
We are watching Monday Night Football. We are not going to put that game on our picks anymore just because, we won't be able to see it. But, yeah, my thoughts, Steelers won. Steelers defense is really strong. Like I said, I like the Bills, but I'm not as high as everybody else are on the Bills. I think they were going to regress this year a little bit. But, and one thing I'll say about – and I'm the Steelers – I've never been a big fan of Big Ben. I don't know, just something about it, just watching them. I feel like if they had a better quarterback, you telling me if Aaron Rodgers – I know he didn't look good this weekend. Don't get me wrong. I know he didn't look good this weekend. But if he had Deontay Johnson, Chase Claypool, Juju Smith, well, you can't really say Najee Harris is a running back. I'd still say Eric Ebron's a good tight end. I don't know. I feel like Pittsburgh would be better without Big Ben. That's me personally. I just feel like Pittsburgh would be better with a good quarterback that can throw it a little bit better downfield. I mean, Big Ben, it's soon to be. It's soon going to be. I think it's soon going to be look like Peyton. If they make it there, it's going to look like Peyton Manning with the Denver Broncos in the Super Bowl. Maybe not that bad, but I don't know. I've never been a big fan of Big Ben, especially these last couple of years. Never been a big fan. But let's go into the next game. Joe Burrow getting his first win of the season, 27-24. Me and Preston both got this game right. Barely, I was kind of watching it. I was watching this game. We went back on Red Zone and watching it on TV a little bit. Kind of surprised, but Josh, any thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I had this game on my TV, especially at the end. I was really rooting for the Vikings, mainly because I got Cook on my team, and I got Justin Jefferson, who really didn't do much. Justin Jefferson. I felt like the Vikings should have won that game in regulation. As soon as it went into overtime. But I'm happy. I'm happy for Joe Burrow to get that win, and for the Bengals, maybe can push the Browns a little bit up there in the AFC North.
Yeah. Jamar Chase, heck of a game for Jamar Chase. I know he won Rookie of the Week, I believe. Preston, hey, Bryson don't watch NFL, but he did say that was going to be his Rookie of the Year, I believe. But anyway, Preston, go ahead.
I mean, I got a lot to say in this game. I picked it, but I didn't really watch it that much. I saw the highlights on ESPN. Like I said at the beginning of the show, Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, coming together like they did in 2019 at LSU. Could be the start of something, pretty up there in Cincinnati. I still don't think they're the best team in Cincinnati. I still give that right now, that edge to the Browns. But, that's a pretty good victory over Minnesota at home. Walk-off field goal in overtime. So, impressive. Like to see some more of that.
Gotcha. Yeah, like I said, it was a good game. Really thought, honestly, when I was watching the game at the beginning, I thought Minnesota was gonna do well and walk away with the game. But, Dalvin Cook, only 61 yards, didn't really impress me too much. Adam Thielen's still out there doing his thing. But, yeah, I always said, even though I said this division, the Ravens, the Bengals, the Browns, and Steelers could be the best division in football this year, one of the best divisions, even though the Bengals are, not a top team. That team still, I'd still be scared to play them. They're still a very caliber NFL team. And Joe Mixon's good at running back. I feel like the defense is getting better, but I don't know. I just feel like they're better than what people say, and they have one of the best college quarterbacks come out of college and, wow, he had one of the best, if not the best college season of all time. So he's still got a very solid team over there. But let's get into the next game. One of the craziest games I've seen all weekend. Looked like a blowout. Niners almost blowing the game, 41-33 in Detroit, or over. I don't know if it was in Detroit or where it was, but it was in Detroit. It's a crazy game. Josh, I know you mentioned a little bit. What's your thoughts on that one?
Man, first of all, I thought that I had picked the 49ers in our Survivor League. And I got a real good friend, one of my best friends. He's a huge Niners fan. And so when it was getting down to the end of the game, I I texted him. I was like, dude, what's going on, man? And then by that time the game had ended, and he said it's called a win. And when you're in when you're in the NFL, that's all that matters. There's no. It's not like
you don't say that. I'm sorry to interrupt you. You don't say that's a win. Come on. I mean, so even my dad's a big Niners fan. He said they deserved to lose that game, and I absolutely agree with him. You don't say it's a win, but go ahead and finish.
Well, in the NFL, you don't have to pass the eye test to get into the playoffs. You know what I mean? So I mean, let's see. Garoppolo really underperformed, I think. I mean, he did have 314 yards, 17 of 25. What are they going to do about running back out there?
Hey, I tell you this one kid, and y'all might know him since you guys are big college guys, Elijah Mitchell. I've heard, this dude was good in college. I don't know if you know much about him, but he had 19 carries for 104 yards and a touchdown. Do you know where he went to college or whatnot? I heard he was good in college.
Louisiana
Monroe or Louisiana Raging Cajuns?
It just says Louisiana on ESPN, so I'm going to say the Raging Cajuns.
That's the Raging Cajuns.
I heard he was good in college.
So is somebody going to tell me what's going on with Trey Sermon?
So I think he was out with either sickness or injury. But
the coaches said that he could play, but they weren't going to play him.
Yeah,
he's going to be the every down back, I'm sure.
I'm not betting on that.
Niners run a lot of backs. So if I'm a fantasy person, and I'll go ahead because I know that's kind of what you're going. Elijah Mitchell, they said Elijah Mitchell looked really good. He was good in college. And they started him over.
Let's see, is he even available in my league?
They started him over JaMychal Hasty, who only got one carry. And that's kind of surprising for the Niners because Niners, when they usually missing a back, they usually run a lot of backs.
Is Mostert gone for the year?
He's out 8 weeks, so pretty much.
Elijah Mitchell is available in my league.
Yeah,
I might go ahead and just claim him.
I would say I wouldn't pick him up and start him this week probably, but I would say that could be a good because they're going to run the ball and they're going to use more than one back, I would think. And I think he's going to be the number 2 guy. And possibly if Trey Sermon's not doing the job, which I think he will, now that roster's hard, but if he's not doing the job, I think Elijah Mitchell could step up and get that lead role, me personally. But Preston, any thoughts on the game?
Just one. I think Jared Goff, his first game in Detroit, I mean, it's notable to note. I mean, he had 338 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 1 interception. I mean, these are kind of numbers that we saw when he was playing for the Rams. I mean, we'll see. But my big thing for this game is, can he fit better in Detroit than he did in LA? Because, in LA, he just never seemed like he was the guy. Even the year they went to the Super Bowl, I mean, they just didn't blow you away offensively. In some games they did, some games they didn't. Definitely not in the Super Bowl. That was probably the snooze fest of my life. But yeah, just interested to see if Jared Goff can fit better and gel better in Detroit than he did in LA.
I'll go ahead and give my thoughts. I will say he threw the ball 57 times. They're going to have to do this a lot because they're going to be down in games. So you will see Jared Goff with a lot.
He's a gunslinger. He
likes a lot of numbers. I've never been a good fan of him, but he didn't look half bad. So, I mean, I think Matt Ryan's going to work out better, way better on the Rams. But, they're going to be down in games, and he's going to have to throw the ball. So he could put up, put up some numbers. But, I can't, watching the game, I was watching that after, they got the onside kick. And so I just couldn't – it blew my mind. I saw one time, I think they were up, what was it, 38, 35-10, 38-10 or something. And then all of a sudden it's a close game. I was like, it just blew my mind. Going back from that game, watching that game, and watching the Cincinnati and Minnesota game, that game was just crazy. Deebo Samuel, 198 yards, 12 targets, a touchdown. If he could stay healthy, that man is good. I mean, that's been his whole problem in the NFL is staying healthy. If he can stay healthy. And they didn't even have –
He's from up there where y'all are, up there in South Carolina country.
Yeah, he's from Carolina. And if he can stay, and plus they didn't even have who possibly is their best receiver behind Kittle. I would say Kittle, is their best guy, even though he's a tight end. Brandon Ayuk, who was really good last year, he was out for the game, I believe. I don't even know if he stepped on the field.
No, I think I got the notification that he was ruled out.
He didn't even step on the field. So, Niners are still – even though they almost blew this game, I still think they're going to be a good team. We'll see how fast Trey Lance gets in, but, Jimmy Garoppolo is a very serviceable quarterback. I think he's very good still, so we'll see. Let's go on to the next game, which this one surprised me. Arizona, 38-13 over the Titans. Josh, any thoughts?
No, yeah. I picked the Titans to win the Super Bowl or to get to the Super Bowl. Or what are they doing? And is Julio Jones washed up? Like what's really going on over there in Nashville for Arizona to come in and put it on them like that? I was not impressed with Derrick Henry. He had a not a very good day. The Cardinals, on the other hand, Kyler Murray played lights out. I think he put up a lot of fantasy points. He's very elusive. He's a good young quarterback, and Arizona's looking good right now. But yeah, I'm disappointed in the Tennessee Titans. Let me see real quick. Derrick Henry, 58 yards, got stuffed at the goal line in the beginning of the game, and that was concerning when you see a man of his size get stuffed at the goal line like that.
Yep. Gotcha. Preston, any thoughts?
Yeah, I picked Tennessee to win this game either. I mean, they were just flat outplayed by Arizona. I mean, I saw the one play I think I saw a clip on it on Twitter, where it was Isaiah Simmons, Clemson's pass linebacker. He goes in there and he goes right after Derrick Henry, and he's made tackles on him before in college, but I mean, he just formed tackled. I mean, because Derrick Henry, the way he's built, and he's a huge guy like Josh is talking about. But you have to tackle that guy low, and you have to get him early before he breaks that line of scrimmage, because if he gets some steam, you're not getting that guy down. And if you do get him down, it's after 20, 25, 30 yards down the field. It's still early in the year, but we might need to pump the brakes like I was talking about the Bills earlier. Pump the brakes on Tennessee because, Julio Jones, look at the receiving yards. The leading receiver for Tennessee, he had 62 yards. Chester Rogers –
used to play for the Colts.
That's come on. He's 62 yards.
I think he played for Pittsburgh too a little bit. But yeah, my thoughts on the game. People talk about the Bills. People talk about the Titans. They better start talking about the Arizona Cardinals. I hate to tell you, they got Kyler Murray. That dude is a bad man running on the run. He's looking like the next, I wouldn't say Mahomes. He's all over the field, throwing it wherever he wants. He just looks insane. And that defense, even though they got a young defense, that defense is still strong. And I don't know if you guys saw it, but Taylor Lewan, the left tackle for the Titans, posted on Twitter. He said, "Sorry, guys," or whatever, something like that. He said, "Sorry, guys, it won't happen again." He said, "Chandler Jones exposed me," or something. He said, "Thanks for doing that," something like that. But anyway, I guess good for him, but at least he realized it because, some of those sacks and stuff were – Chandler Jones wasn't even touched. I know Chandler Jones had a career day. He broke the franchise record in sacks for the Arizona Cardinals. But, and I would say DeAndre Hopkins probably the best receiver in the league. But, yeah, this is definitely they're definitely in the best division in football, and this definitely could be a Super Bowl team. I would say, even though they're young, I would say this definitely could be a Super Bowl team over the Bills and the Titans, in my opinion. And the only thing that's going to keep them is they're in the best division in football, and I think all those teams could go to the Super Bowl, in my opinion. But so maybe I don't see Niners going to the Super Bowl, but they just did, so they could prove me wrong. But I think that's the best division in football, and we'll see what they do. Let's go to the next game: Seattle against Indy. Russell Wilson looking very strong. I didn't think Carson Wentz looked half bad. I thought he was pretty good. And I think he's the best. I think that was the best place for him to go in the Colts. if they can get, some receivers going over there. I think, Carson Wentz could be very good. But, I don't think I wrote this game. I don't think I wrote it down too much. But any thoughts on that game?
Yeah, I didn't pay attention too much to the game. I got the stats pulled up here. Russell Wilson, 4 touchdowns. Like I said, like you said, he looks good. Was really Carson Wentz played pretty good out there for Indy. Like you said, Jonathan Taylor, though, only 56 yards on 17 carries. And he was the leading receiver for the Colts as well. Who does Carson Wentz got to throw to out there?
Well, I would say, I'm not going to interrupt you, but, Pascal's good. It doesn't seem like he threw to him, but Pittman Jr. had a good season last year, but, he didn't show it that game, but we'll see. We'll see if he can show it soon.
Yep. So, I think Seattle could be a Super Bowl contender.
Yep, I do too. That's what I said. All 4 of those teams could possibly make it to the Super Bowl. But Preston, any thoughts on the game?
Not a lot to say on this one. Russell Wilson, very Russell Wilson-esque kind of performance. 254 yards, 4 touchdowns, extremely efficient. Helps his team get to a victory over Indianapolis, which I don't think I was too high on Indianapolis. Well, I wasn't too high on Indianapolis coming into this game. But, Carson Wentz kind of played, better than expected. He just came out of surgery. I think it was on his foot, correct? But, for 251 yards, 2 touchdowns against the Seattle Seahawks, I think that's pretty good. He kept that game in there, kept it competitive. This could be a team to look out for in the AFC. But, yeah, Seattle's looking real good right now. They keep going this far. That whole division might be Super Bowl now.
Sorry, I will say, and everybody hates Carson Wentz. I've always been higher on Carson Wentz.
He seems like a good guy.
I've always been higher on Carson Wentz than most people. Who has he had to throw to in Philadelphia, really? Honestly, besides the tight ends, he's really – and they don't have a really good offensive line. Looking at eye talent, he looks like a halfway decent quarterback to me. And I think he's going to be – if the Colts can play well and they get it going and maybe can get some receivers, they have a good offensive line. If he can get good protection, I think he's going to be there for a little while, in my opinion. I think he's going to be there for a little while. But, the game, Seattle Super Bowl contending team, Russell Wilson trying to, he's in the MVP conversation. Even though it's week 1, he's probably going to be in it all season. One thing Seattle likes to do is, just like last year, they like to throw the ball at the beginning of the year, and then they'll go back and mess it up and start running the ball towards the end of the year, and they won't throw it, and they won't let Russell Wilson throw it. And that's what messes them up. But they got a new offensive coordinator this year who likes to throw the ball. It could help out Seattle a lot and make them a whole lot better team, because I think they should continue to throw the ball, in my opinion, a lot. But let's get into the next game. I don't think I put down Chargers in Washington. I think we're going to skip that game. It was a good game. 2 defensive games, but, it was a good game. Chargers came back and won. I had the Chargers. I know you guys had the Redskins. It's a very close game. Any overall thoughts on that game? You guys don't have to say much, but any thoughts?
What was the line on that game?
I think it was -1 for the Redskins.
Yeah, I thought the Redskins were going to win.
Yeah. It was a good defensive team, but I will say the Chargers. People got to remember the Chargers when healthy. They have Bosa, they have Derwin James, they have a good defense now. So people got to remember, Chargers still got a strong defense too.
If Fitzpatrick hadn't got hurt early in that game, this game could have probably been in the favor of the national or of the football team.
Yep.
They got Taylor Heineke, and I think he did pretty well in the playoffs last year, if I'm not mistaken. He did pretty well. I can't remember who they played, but I remember walking away from that game like, wow, he played his heart out and he almost won that game. They had no business being in it. So, he's going to be starting for the next couple of weeks while Fitzmagic, recovers from that hip injury. But yeah, that was a little bit of a shocker for me. But like I said, injuries play a part in this game, unfortunately. And I think this one was, due to the fact that he went out so early on.
Gotcha. Let's get into the next game. One game that did surprise me in performance: Trevor Lawrence, 3 touchdowns, 3 interceptions in the loss versus the Texans. Josh was the only one to pick this right. Tyrod Taylor came over and led the Texans to a victory. Any thoughts on that, Josh?
Yes. Tyrod Taylor, 21 of 33 for 291 yards and 2 touchdowns. I didn't expect that from Tyrod Taylor. But the guy I want to point out is, of course, Roll Tide, Mark Ingram.
I
Again,
will say, him coming out and running the ball 26 times, that surprises me.
11-year veteran, 26 times for 85 yards and a score.
Especially,
and they're going to
especially
need
with them
him.
having the backs.
They're going to need their backs this year.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I didn't think it was going to be that much. I didn't think there'd be that much scoring in this game.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it just surprised me as many as good backs that has. He ran the ball 26 times. I guess they were just going to the hot hand. But Preston, any thoughts on that game?
No, I did not watch this game at all. I thought this was going to be a very awful game, and it wasn't. Not too bad, not too exciting. But I mean, Tyrod Taylor, like he was saying, I mean, he just went off. I did not see that coming, and I kind of was going into this, with the idea in our Survivor League pick against Houston. And I know Jacksonville's not that great of a team, but I mean, if Houston is able to put some points up on the board, who's to say this team? I'm not picking them in their division or making the playoffs or anything like that. I mean, they might be able to win 7 games, 8 games max. I mean, that was I said 8, 7, 8. 7, 8.
That's a big much. I'll say 4 at most, 4 or 5 at most.
We'll see.
Depending on their schedule.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to say, yeah, I mean, I like 4 as well, but they play like they did on Sunday. I mean, hey, who can't say that they wouldn't? I mean, that was a pretty decent performance.
I would say Jacksonville did have the number 1 pick last year. They only won 1 game, so let's pump the brakes there just a little bit. But I'll say my thoughts. Trevor Lawrence, he came out his rookie game, threw the ball 51 times. That was 332 yards, even though he did throw 3 picks. I'm hoping Jacksonville – I think he could be a good quarterback. I'm hoping Jacksonville don't hold him back. I'd like to see him do really well. But, yeah, I mean, it's just like I said, Jacksonville was going to be one of my survivor picks. I said that was a game I thought Jacksonville was going to win.
I almost took Jacksonville.
And I'm glad I didn't. I didn't have the stones to do it. There was no way because you look at that and – you know what got me is when they got Tyrod Taylor and they announced him as a starting quarterback. Dude, he's not a bad quarterback. I don't know where everybody he's not. I mean, he's been a serviceable backup, and when people's gotten hurt or when he was on Buffalo or whatnot, I mean, he's been all right. He hasn't been bad. Even last year, before what did he do? When he was a starter before Herbert got in, I believe he was all right. I mean, he wasn't great. I mean, but before Herbert, I think he had a bad injury, I believe.
I think what happened to him is his team doctor punctured his lung, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
It was like a freak accident, and he had to sit out. Like I think he was going to be the starter.
I don't think he was playing bad before Herbert came in, even though Herbert came in and dominated. But I mean, he's not a bad quarterback. So, but guys, before we get on to it, any thoughts on Trevor Lawrence?
I mean, he's put into a bad situation. You put him in a situation like Mac Jones is in right now, and he performs probably like Mac Jones did perform. He's in a bad spot, man. When you go number 1 overall to the worst team, they don't have any weapons. It was typical. I figured it was a pretty much typical performance by first round, first pick quarterback that goes to the worst team in the league.
Gotcha. Well, we've been talking about these games for a while. We're going to try to speed it up a little bit here. Miami taking on the Alabama QB duel. Josh, I know you want to talk about this a little bit. Miami winning 17-16. My lock of the week was Patriots. I thought Patriots was going to come out there and beat them. Josh, any thoughts?
Well, they should have won and Roll Tide again on Damian Harris fumbling the ball inside the 10-yard line that probably would have gave the Patriots the win. But both quarterbacks performed really well. I'm real happy for Mac Jones. They tried to give him the game ball. I mean, his first touchdown pass, and he just walked away and went and sat on the bench and started doing this breathing exercise that he talks about that he does to try to keep his nerves calm. And apparently it worked because he played pretty well. Tua played well. I was upset that Tua did not throw to the tight end Gesicki or whatever his name is. That really ticked me off So, but and Waddle played good. I think he's going to do some stuff this year. Yeah, I really enjoyed that game. That was probably one of the best games that I've seen on Sunday.
Somebody, any thoughts, Preston?
I mean, my only takeaway from this game was the quarterback from both quarterbacks from Alabama battle. I mean, their stats are very similar, and I know that Tua got the win with the Dolphins and everything like that. But I think Mac Jones, to me, just looks like the better quarterback right now, and that was his first game in the NFL. Now, it's early on. Tua's not obviously on a great team in Miami, and neither is Mac and New England. But I have more faith in New England to turn it around quicker than Miami, because Miami has been in this position for a hot minute, and Mac Jones did nothing but surprise me, and he can only get better from here. And I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he continues up this act right here and wins the Rookie of the Year.
Yeah,
because that was a good performance.
Yeah, and Miami's defense, I say, they've been all the additions they had and stuff. Miami's defense is no joke either. Yeah, and I've always ever since Patriots announced Mac Jones as their starter, I actually had a bet yesterday, it was Saturday night. Probably a stupid bet, but I said whatever. Everybody was talking up the Bills. Everybody's high on the Bills, and he said $20. He said we were betting on the Bills to win division. He said he had $20. The Bills win division. I told him I'll take the Patriots. So it might have been a stupid bet, but I believe in Bill Belichick and the Patriots more than I do in the Bills. I mean, I really do. I really do. Even though they lost to Miami, Miami's not a bad football team. They got a good defense. They got good weapons. Jalen Waddle is a good receiver. Devontae Parker is a good receiver when healthy. They got a decent tight end. And, depending on, we'll see about Tua. I mean, he played well, but we still got to see. But yeah, I mean, I don't think Miami's a bad team. I thought it was a good game, but yeah, I still think the Patriots are going to bounce back and get back to it, especially this week against the Jets. We'll see what Zach Wilson can do. Yeah, next game, my Saints beat down the Packers. We don't have to talk about it too much. I mean, I know you guys don't want to talk about it. Might be there. I'm telling you, the new era is here. Jameis Winston. I have my new shirt in there. It's in the washing machine now. The Jameis Winston shirt came in right before the game. And I was very happy. Threw 5 touchdowns. Not many yards, but, any thoughts on that game, Josh?
Yeah, he had more yards than Aaron Rodgers. And he had
Aaron Rodgers didn't seem like he was too interested to be playing. So, I mean, 148 to 133, and one guy that obviously doesn't seem like he's playing as hard as he could be.
I'm telling you, when we get into predictions, I know we're not talking about the Monday night game. I'm telling you right now. Let's go ahead and lock this in. Aaron Rodgers, 4 touchdowns next week. 4 touchdowns over 300 yards. I'm telling you.
What do you want to put on
Detroit. In Detroit.
I'll make one right here on live.
You think he bounces back?
I'm telling you, he's going to bounce back. I'm telling you.
You can't bounce back from not wanting to play in the first place.
I'm not. That
was like Will. That wasn't performance. That was Will.
I'm not telling Josh. I'm not telling you it might happen. I'm telling you it will happen. You're telling me
I wanted more performance out of Alvin Kamara than I got. For sure, but they really didn't have to lean on him that much.
Well, he's more of a, Drew Brees checked down the ball a lot because Drew Brees is winding down. He couldn't throw the ball downfield anymore. So that's why he, was doing so well. And, and they got this new back. They always like running 2 running backs. They got this new back, I believe it's Jones Jr., Tony Jones. He ran 11 times going into that little Latavius Murray role or Mark Ingram role, per se.
Yeah.
50 yards. He didn't play bad. So we'll see. Preston, any thoughts?
My big takeaway from the game, it is Jameis Winston. I was very impressed with him. He only had 148 yards. He could have easily had 100 more. But they were talking about it on the broadcast. This was the Jameis Winston from a couple of years ago when all of his receivers are locked down downfield. He's forcing that ball. He's going to get it to somebody. He's either going to score a touchdown, have a 65-yard play, or it's going to be intercepted. And that's why his interception numbers were so high. We know he can throw the ball, okay? We know he can run. He ran really well in this game, by the way. He looked very mobile. He looked like he had control of everything that he wanted to do. I mean, if Jameis Winston wanted to do it this game, I mean, he absolutely was able to do it. So being able to run, command the pocket was really impressive. And the fact that he was just, willing to, throw the ball away, let's waste it down, keep the drive alive, waste it down, keep the drive alive. And New Orleans, they really surprised me. If they play like this, I wouldn't be surprised if they were to, possibly be very competitive versus the Bucs. But I mean, I want to slow down just a little bit because the Bucs, are the team that has just recently done it. But I mean, Jameis Winston knows how to win. I mean, he was winning in high school, he's winning in college. And the Saints and Sean Payton is an amazing coach. I questioned his judgment when he was calling out Michael Thomas for getting that surgery so late in the offseason, right before the regular season. But Sean Payton knows what he's doing up down there in New Orleans. And they were displaced because of Ida, and they were down playing in Jacksonville, and it didn't seem like it mattered to them at all. Now, again, I don't know how much that's got to do with Green Bay Packers, and, they haven't gelled because, Aaron Rodgers wasn't there in the preseason. He wasn't there in the offseason. And, I mean, he pretty much held that franchise at gunpoint because, he was going to get what he's going to get or he was going to walk, and Green Bay was, terrified about that. So, we'll see. I do not think his next game performance – I'm not dropping Aaron Rodgers. I'm still going to start him because he's going to be better than Derek Carr in fantasy. But, I mean – I'm not.
Dude, you're telling me this man is playing the Detroit Lions on Monday Night Football after losing 38-3. If he don't throw for 3 touchdowns or more, I will be mind blown.
You said 4.
I'm saying if he don't, I will say he's going to throw for 4.
I'll say 3. You wanted to say 4.
No, but you're bet on it. Okay. You're telling me if he throws for 3 touchdowns, that's not good enough for your fantasy team?
No, he gave me 2 points. I can't forgive him for that.
What I'm saying
is,
I'm picking him unless they blow him out. Now, you don't know. They could blow him out, and it could be a complete blowout.
I'm still starting him. I mean, I'm still going to start him.
I'm telling you, he's going
to give me more than
he's got. I mean, it's not going to happen unless injury or bar none, or let's say some reason decide to start Jordan Love, who I think is going to be a good quarterback. I really do. Would
you be surprised if he doesn't start out good? If before this first half is over with, they start him, they swap quarterbacks. Would you be surprised if Aaron Rodgers?
If he looks bad against Detroit, if he's throwing, I think they'll.
If he looks bad against Detroit, is he just aged out? Is he finally, just
no? I think he's throwing the game. Done? I think he's throwing the game
because that's what it seemed like yesterday.
No, I'm telling you, I'm going to be mind blown if you don't throw for 3 touchdowns or more.
I don't know if he wants to throw for 3 touchdowns.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you now.
I had it all wrong.
All right, we got to get to the next game. We got, and I want to say a little bit of something on my Saints. And the last thing, I've been saying it for the last 2 years, and I said Drew Brees should have been benched last year and gone. Jameis Winston, when he play, everybody's talking about division and stuff like that. This man plays, he could be a top 10 quarterback. I'm telling you, he's got the talent. Everybody watch out. I don't think, and the receivers ain't all that. I think he's got the talent. We'll see. We'll see where that can take us. I still don't think we're going to be that great, but I believe in Jameis. I think he's a whole lot better than having Drew Brees last season. I think if we had Jameis last season, who would have known? I think he should have played, but that's my opinion. Last game we're going to talk about quickly. Chiefs come back 33-29. Josh, any thoughts on that game?
Oh, man, I felt bad for the Browns. I felt like they could have won this game. It was just too much for them at the end in the fourth quarter. Tyreek Hill's just too much to try to contain. When Patrick Mahomes scrambles, Tyreek Hill's out there. I mean, who's going to stop him? If he puts it accurately, Tyreek Hill will catch it, and that was pretty much what happened.
You see that meme?
Yeah, I saw him say something about it in the press conference. That was
he talked about it. That's funny.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, I mean, it's kind of like that.
I know that the Browns have a really good run defense, really good, because Clyde Edwards-Helaire didn't have hardly any rushing yards. And the Chiefs didn't have hardly any rushing yards at all. Patrick Mahomes did a lot through the air. He did what Patrick Mahomes does, and got a good win against the Browns.
Yeah, that Chiefs defense still has to improve too. We'll see how they improve. Their defense is looking like same old. Preston, any thoughts?
No, I think the Browns are in for a good season. If everything holds together and everybody stays healthy, I mean, they could be looking for a very successful season up there in the AFC. I still got them as the best team in Ohio. I mean, they go down to
That's not saying
Arrowhead.
much, but go ahead.
Yeah, well, we need Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow, but yeah, I mean, they travel to Arrowhead. I think it was a 3:30 game or something like that, or 4. I don't remember. It was a mid-afternoon game, and for them to play as competitive as they did, and it was a heartbreaker the way they lose. They could be looking in for a good season. But I just wanted to say, I mean, the very first touchdown of the game, I didn't see it, but I see they had 8 points and they had the 2-point conversion. I mean, that's pretty ballsy to go for a 2-point conversion on the first touchdown of the season. We're going for two. I mean, they got it too.
I think Nick Chubb ran it in. I believe.
I mean, you got to do that more often, honestly.
It was Hunt.
Oh, was it Hunt?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was Chubb. Yeah. But the Browns are very impressive. This could be a rematch in the AFC Championship. We'll see. I believe the Browns are very good. I believe the Chiefs are, good. Defense got to improve. I'm just saying takeaways. Chiefs, even though they were down. I mean, what were they down? What were they down? They were down a good bit at halftime.
They were down 12.
Yeah, down by 12. So I say still the best offense in the league. That's one way I'll take away from it.
I like how Cleveland's got I feel like the best 2 running backs, or I wouldn't say the best 2 running backs, but the best 2 running back combination. You got Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb. I mean, because you got Nick Chubb who can power it, and you got Kareem Hunt.
And I'll tell you right now, if Kareem Hunt was a starter on the team, he'd be a top 10. Even possibly could be a top 5 running back.
I remember towards the end of that game, Nick Chubb, I think, had like 3 straight rushes, and they were in the end zone or in the red zone. And you could just tell he's gassed. So he's jogging off the field. You got Kareem Hunt, very first play, just pushes right to the end zone.
Yeah.
I mean, just that 1-2 combination, 1-2 knockout punch. I mean, it's nice to have. Jealous for him.
What was our records?
Gotcha. If I didn't say the records, I thought I did at the beginning. I was 7-8. You were 6-9. Preston was 5-10.
Okay,
I'm correct. Hopefully, I'm correct. If not, we'll go back and fix it. But let's go ahead and get into the picks this week. We'll try to do them, somewhat fast since we talked about the games a little bit.
Yeah, I'm just gonna run down mine. I got them written down. If you just want me to run down them real quick,
it don't matter either way, or we can just go through them and say them real quick.
Yeah, we don't have to talk about it. We can just literally go pick.
We'll just go to each person. You can just say pick. Giants at Redskins. Who you got, Josh?
I got the Skins with the -4.5.
Preston.
Skins 4.5.
I am going to take the Skins 4.5.
Wait, football team. Washington football team.
I'm saying Redskins. It's all right. It's no big deal. Saints at Panthers. New Orleans -3. Josh.
Saints with the 3.
He's taking Saints -3.
Same.
Yeah, I'm going to take against Sam Darnold. I'm going to take Saints -3. Bengals at Bears. Bears -3. Andy Dalton still starting over there. Josh, who you got?
Taking the Bengals with the 3 points.
Preston?
Bears straight up.
Give me the Bengals with the points. Texans at Browns -11.5. Cleveland. Josh, who you got?
That's a lot of points, man.
That is a lot of points.
Oh, man. I'm going to take the Texans with the points.
Preston?
Browns covered.
Oh, God.
I don't trust them.
I don't either. I could definitely see them winning this game by 10 or something. I think it's going to be more to touchdown, but give me I'm taking Cleveland. Still taking Cleveland. I don't believe
to cover for the 11.5.
Yeah, I don't believe in Texans. I'm just saying I think it could be a 10-point game. Definitely don't see in Texans winning, but I think it's going to be somewhere around that number. Rams at Colts. Rams -4. Josh.
Rams giving up 4.
Who you got?
Wait, the Colts are favored?
No, Rams -4.
Oh, Rams cover.
Taking the Colts with the point. I'm going to take the Colts. I think they're at the Colts. Yeah, Rams defense is good, but I'm still a believer in that Colts. We'll see what happens. Broncos at Jaguars. Broncos -6. Who you got, Josh?
Broncos -6.
Who you got, Preston?
Broncos cover -6.
I'm being ballsy this week. Give me the Jaguars.
And his record
I'm taking I took all the favorites last week. I'm telling you, Broncos played the Giants. I'm telling you, it's the NFL. Anything can happen. I'm just saying. And I'm just saying Jacksonville might sneak out and get a W this week, even though they got a good defense. I'm just saying. Watch out. Bills at Dolphins. Bills minus 3.5. Josh.
Give me the Dolphins plus 3.5.
Preston.
Bills cover.
Give me. God, I've been talking so bad about the Bills. But I'm taking the Bills to cover minus 3.5. I could be really bad. I could lose a lot of games this week, but I'm feeling like it's going to happen. Pats at Jets. Pats minus 3.5. Josh.
Pats cover.
Preston.
Pats cover.
I got the Pats too. Pats can cover easy. Niners at Eagles. Niners minus 3. Who you got, Josh?
Ooh. Playing at Philadelphia is hard, but the Niners are too good. I take them with the points. They'll cover.
Preston.
What's the spread again?
Minus 3, Niners.
I like Eagles to cover. Straight up.
God bless America. This is one of the toughest games on the board right here, I think. Niners. Yep. Give me the Niners minus 3. Raiders at Steelers. Pittsburgh minus 6. Josh, who you got? And the game is still going on right now in this game. Josh?
I'm going to go with the Raiders plus the 6 points.
Preston?
Raiders plus a 6. I like Pittsburgh to win, but the Raiders keep it close.
I'm going to go with the Raiders as well, plus 6. 4 p.m. games. Vikings at Cardinals. Cardinals minus 4. Josh?
Vikings plus 4.
Preston?
Took the words right out of my mouth.
God. Give me the Cardinals minus 4 at home. That could be a tough one too. Falcons at Bucks minus 12.5. Josh.
Dude, the Bucks are going to kill them. Bucks are going to kill them. Bucks going to win by 3 scores, man.
Who you got?
Give me the Falcons with the points.
Yeah, I'm taking the Falcons. I said it before the game. I'm taking the Falcons with points. Could be the wrong decision, but I'm just telling you.
Well be the wrong
decision. I'm telling you right now. Bucks ain't blowing out teams early in the season. They don't care nothing about doing that. Cowboys at Chargers. Chargers minus 2.5. Josh.
I'm taking the Cowboys plus 2.5.
Preston.
Cowboys plus 2.5.
God, this could
Freddie,
be,
that's for you.
Dude, I could possibly lose every game this week, but I'm taking the Cowboys. 2.5, minus 2.5. Titans at Seahawks. Seahawks minus 6. Josh.
Seahawks minus 6.
Ooh, minus 6. God.
And is that in Tennessee?
No, it's in Seattle.
Oh no, give me the Seahawks in the 6.5.
Give me definitely. Come on, bounce back. Titans got to bounce back. Give me Tennessee. Seahawks could win, but give me Tennessee. Sunday night football. Chiefs at Ravens. Chiefs minus 2.5. Josh.
Chiefs minus 2.5.
Preston.
Yeah, Chiefs 2.5.
I'm taking Chiefs minus 2.5 as well. We didn't. Last thing. We'll do our last thing here because I know we didn't mention it. Did you guys have a player of the week?
Yeah, Jameis Winston.
Oh, he did have. You know what? I was going to say Jameis Winston too.
5 touchdowns. It's hard to go against 5 scores, dude.
I want to say Jameis Winston too, and that was my player of the week. But give me Kyler Murray beating down the Titans. He threw 289 yards, 4 touchdowns. Could also take the defense there. I was going to take the Saints as a whole, but I couldn't do that because player of the week I was going to take the defense. But Preston, do you have anybody?
Give me Dak Prescott as my player of the week. I mean, 403 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception.
Dude, I don't understand. Why do people take losing teams?
He still played amazing.
He still lost. He's still on the Cowboys.
Okay, and your Saints ain't winning the division. Okay,
they're not. But I tell you right now, the Falcons ain't either. They're coming last. So
hey, but I accept it. Okay.
All right. We're not going to talk about the Monday night game, but I will tell you right now, and I'll tell you once again, if you're benching Aaron Rodgers in fantasy this week, you are an idiot. I'm telling you right now,
if he gives me 2 touchdowns.
You are an idiot. But let's go ahead and finish it.
Hey, real quick, what was the line on this game? The Ravens and Raiders. Yeah, because we got to put that in our record.
Yeah, 2 seconds. Oh, yeah, because we're not – okay, this will be the only Monday night football game we're going to do because since it's Monday night, we're going to do no more. The line is -4 for the Ravens. I had the Ravens I believe both of y'all had the Raiders. if I'm not mistaken.
I had the Raiders. I know.
I think Preston had the Raiders as well.
I don't know. We're gonna have to check that.
I'm pretty sure Preston had the Raiders as well.
I had the winning team.
Yeah,
I had the winning pick.
Yeah, so we'll see. Yeah, it's going to be either down for me or up for y'all. I think Josh could. I think you could tie
you.
it. You
Could
could
tie
tie
you
me.
here.
You could tie me, but yeah, we did. We need to. We may next week. We may just talk about some of the good games of the weekend since we can limit it. I kind of want to limit it to about 50 minutes or so, but
we could limit it on the NFL to like
some of the good games. Yeah, we'll have to figure that out. But I appreciate you watching. Any last thing? Sorry, lock of the week for anybody.
Tampa Bay covers against Atlanta.
Ooh,
in Tampa. I mean, come on, man.
I like the Broncos to cover. That's probably my lock.
Give me the Patriots again. I'm taking the Patriots again. -3.5. I'm a bit high on the Patriots. 3.5 against the Jets. All right. Appreciate you watching.
All right, man. Peace.